Welcome to your marketing communication class again. On the previous lesson, we talked about internal marketing and how we are going to manage internal stakeholders and all that. So today we are going to talk something more. It's again with regard to internal marketing. So we'll be talking about resource management, the marketing communications, then how we are going to manage your internal marketing solutions. Then you will be talking about budgeting methods, and you'll be talking about something about like physical resources, then the tangible resources, the type of resources you have, and you will be able to analyze the resources as well. Then you will be having the capability at the end of this lesson too, you will be having the capability of what? Analyzing your resources, and you will be knowing like where you stand right now in the point of view of resources, and you will be analyzing your staff skills as well. When it comes to budgeting methods, you will be analyzing your what? Financial resources, and we'll be talking about what are the methods available for budgeting. So like we'll be talking about share of voice and share of market method. Likewise, we'll be talking about those things as well. Now straight away, now we are going to lesson 2. It's about internal marketing again, but this is about what? Managing your internal resources effectively to deliver what? Effective marketing solutions. So with lot of surprises, now we are going to start today's lesson. Right, first of all, let's look at the lesson. Let's start the lesson right now, and let's look at the lesson right now. So this is your lesson number 2, basics of marketing communication, internal marketing, analyzing and managing internal resources. Analyzing and managing internal resources. Now it is a point from Active we need to elaborate that. Now we are sharing knowledge for you to apply. So we believe knowledge is power when it is shared and applied. So we share knowledge which is to be shared and applied. So it is practical knowledge we are sharing. So you will be able to what? You will be able to deploy this knowledge in your organization or to yourself to succeed as an individual or for an organization. You will be able to use this knowledge which we are just sharing. So that is the beauty of this Arctube's unique knowledge. Right. So we are going into the learning outcomes right now. What are the learning outcomes that you are going to get when it comes to this lesson? So the first learning outcome of this lesson will be analyze the business entity's capability for marketing. Analyze the business entity's capabilities for marketing. Then the second learning outcome is what? Assess how to manage internal resources to build external customer relationship. How to manage internal resources to build external customer relationships. Then what else you are going to expect as learning outcomes? So one other thing is about having a clear understanding of range of methods for setting communication budget and measuring the impact. So you'll be able to understand what are the ways and means of setting up a communication budget and measuring their impact. Then lastly, you will be able to critically evaluate the skills required to deliver effective marketing solutions. So these are the major 4 learning outcomes which we hope to cover, and you will be able to use these practical appliances or applications with this knowledge sharing of lesson 2. Right. Okay. Now we are going to talk about categorization of organizational resources. Categorization of organizational resources. Why you need to categorize the organizational resources? And what are the main categories of organizational resources that you know? Now, you may be knowing the organizational resources as what? Maybe the physical resources will be there. Then what else? Then you can see on the slide. So you will be having physical resources. Then you will be having human resources. Then you will be having financial resources, and you will be having intangible resources. So these are the main 4 types of resources that in an organization what you will be having. Now for an example, if you talk about physical resources, it can be in the sense like it can be touched. So the physical resources you can see in the slide as well. You can see a building, right? So the branch network you have, maybe the buildings you have, maybe the infrastructure you have, then the vehicle fleets you have, then the machinery you have, then the manufacturing plants you have are some examples for these physical resources. Right, now we are coming to the human resources. Now what do you mean by human resources? You can see, you can check on the slide as well. There's something called staff. Why staff becomes human resource? So that's a human element. Now how we are going to analyze this human element? Then again, you need to check from a mechanism, you need to check how your human resource is distributed. Now in a way you can say, okay, I have about 7,000 employees in my company. Now does that mean like once you are having higher number of employees in your organization, does that mean like you are having healthy human resource? No, it's not like that. Why? Because these human resources have to have that capability and skills to manage resources. If you don't have that capability in your human resource in managing the external resources or the physical resources and financial and intangible resources, that's of no use. So in that case, your human resource have to have what? The correct qualifications, the correct level of experience, correct level of personal and practical skills. We'll be talking about personal and practical skills when it comes to the internal communication manager's role. We'll be talking about that thing. Then you need to have the cream of the market for your organization to manage your day-to-day activities. Now it is a fact that when you're having a degree, that doesn't mean like you can work for that. So you need to have a degree as well as practical experience in order to expedite the organization's day-to-day operations. Now once you talk about this human resource, so you need to analyze the number of staff, the qualifications they have, the experience levels they have, and what are the exposures they have. So likewise you will be able to analyze the human resource, and that is the type of resource. That's about human resource. Then what is the other type we are talking about? That's about financial resources. So it's about what? The net worth of your company, and what is the internal cash flow, and what is the capex or opex that your organization is working on, and what is the working capital you are having, what are the operating profits in your organization you are going to have. So how we are going to plan your investments, and how we are going to plan your investments, how we are going to plan your financials in your investments. So likewise you will be able to have these financial resources as well. Now it is in monetary terms. Then it's about intangible resources. Intangible resources means that word says what? It is intangible. Now once you say intangible, you can't touch that thing. You can't touch that thing. Now what are the organizational resources you have which can't be touched? Now these financial resources, you can touch that thing. Then these human resources, you can touch that thing. So likewise now human resources, you can touch that thing. When it comes to physical resources, you can touch. But for these intangible resources, what are the elements of these intangible resources? So what are the types of intangible resources you will be having? Now for an example, let's say for a human, what are the intangible resources? So maybe someone might tell you like he's a person with good values, and he's a person who's having good networking skills, or he has a good network and he knows many people outside his network, so he have contacts so that he can get something done in outside market because he has the required network, right? So likewise these intangible resources are for organizations. It can be the organization's corporate reputation, it can be the organization's brand image, and it can be the organization's goodwill. So it can be the organization's the sponsorships and all that thing. They will be using these activities to maintain their corporate reputation. So these things will be the goodwill of the company, the corporate reputation of the company, brand reputation of the company, brand image of the company. So those things will be what? The intangible resources. But you need to make these intangible resources into tangible resources as well. Now how we are going to make it tangible resources? Now for an example, if you take the brand element. So if you're talking about the brand reputation, you can take the brand value in monetary terms, which is tangible amount, which is a tangible element in financial amount. So likewise, so these are the main categories of organization resources, namely, what is that? Physical, human, financial, and intangible resources. Four types of resources, right? By keeping that thing in mind, so we are going for an activity right now. What is the first activity you are going to have? How your organization has allocated resources for your internal and external marketing communication, and is it adequate? Now, if someone asks you, is it adequate? We all tend to say, no, it's not that adequate. So in that case, I need some more resources and all that thing. As marketers today, or as managers today, as engineers today, as accountants today, we can't say it is not adequate, but we need to justify our argument why you are saying it's not adequate, not adequate. Why? Because you need to know the basics in order to prove that thing. So that's why we have talked about the resource categorization and how to analyze resources. We'll be talking about that thing in detail in coming lessons as well. So you need to prove your argument in proving that the external marketing communication, the resource allocation from the company is not adequate. Sometimes you might say, okay, the resource allocation is fair, no problem, we can go ahead with that. But make it a point, you won't get a cushion. You won't be in a comfortable environment when it comes to today's environment. So you will be in a challenging environment, in a dynamic environment. So in that case, you should know how to manage resources to deliver the optimum results. If you are not delivering the optimum results by managing that thing, what will happen? You will be kicked off. That's it. So, but I don't want you to be kicked off from your organization because of what? Because you are capable of doing that thing. That's why we are sharing this knowledge, and that's why you are looking into this channel to gain knowledge, right? Gaining knowledge, sharing knowledge, that's vice versa. So now, how your organization has allocated resources, then you can say like, okay, what are the physical resources they have allocated, and what are the human resources they have allocated, what are the financial resources they have allocated, and what are the brand reputation resources they have allocated. Now, once you say about brand reputation resources, how they have allocated for these brand reputation resources. So it's about maybe the human, financial, and physical resource allocation towards the brand in brand building. So let's say now you need a celebrity. Let's say you need a celebrity like someone. You need a top class celebrity like Rihanna. So in that case, you will be able to get that thing towards from where? From the organization. Like they will be saying, okay, it's okay now. We are having our funds to sponsor Rihanna to be in our advertisement. Likewise, right? So likewise, you need to answer that question. It's about what? How your organization has allocated resource for your internal and external marketing communications. Is it adequate? Now, I am not going to say the answer, but I have given you some guidelines. You need to write the answer and revert back to us. You know the hotline, not the hotline, actually the email. So you can get back to us on that. Then other one is what? Now, there's a new topic. What is that? There's a new topic. It's about transactional versus relationship marketing. Now, transactional versus relationship marketing. Now, what do you mean by transactional marketing? Now, it's about what now? Once you are going to an automated teller machine or a vending machine, now what do you do there? Let's say you are going to an ATM machine. So in that case, you will be having your card there, the ATM card, and you will be typing your PIN number, and you will be withdrawing money from there. Then you are just going to go away. So that's a transaction. So you don't have the relationship there. There's no human element there. So in that case, you are going to make transaction with the machine. So that's a transaction. So relationship is what? Relationship is more than that. Now, in all the days, we have said like, okay, some machines are there. So in all the days, we have said like only transaction can be done through machines. But nowadays that has been digitalized and digital revolution is there. So you'll be having chatbot popping up somewhere and saying, hey, hi, have you have withdraw this amount of money, so in that case you are eligible for this gift or something like that. So that makes the engagement with the bank. So it's moving towards relationship. Now what do you mean by relationship marketing then again? Now in transactional marketing, we see it's a one-off transaction and you don't have long-term relationship or after-sales services, in the sense like ATM doesn't have the intelligent capability of recognizing that the same customer is visiting the premises. Whereas in the relationship marketing, where there will be a human element, the human element will be recognizing the repeat customer and he'll be treating him differently, and ultimately he'll be moving ahead with what? To be a loyal customer. So in that case, if you want to build a loyal customer, it is a must that your organization is practicing relationship marketing. If you do not practice relationship marketing in your organization, it will be very hard for you. Referring back to lesson 1, can you remember we talked about something called 6 market framework? If you can't remember, you can always go in there and recheck. In 6 market framework, customer is in the middle. Why the customer is in the middle? Because we are managing all stakeholders to deliver super class or world class customer value. So relationship marketing is also focusing on that. So if you practice relationship marketing, customer is at the center. Now let's see what are the differences between transactional versus relationship marketing. Now you can see in the slide, you can see in the table, it says the transactional marketing focus on single sale. Why it is single sale? Now let's say there's a sales promotion campaign which is going in there, where the company is always focusing on number of sales, so that these freelancers are there, freelance employees are there, so they will be hired to the company on contract basis. So this contract basis employees, what they do then? So they just put on the numbers and they are achieving the targets, so there's no relationship. So they are focusing on single sale, not long term. But relationship marketing, it's about what? Focus on customer retention. Now we know that great saying by the marketing experts, it's very costly to get a new customer, and it is always the cost is always less when it comes to the retaining a existing customer. Now focus on customer retention will be there in relationship marketing. Then the second point is what? Focus on product features. In transactional marketing, we'll be focusing on product features. Now you may have experienced that thing. Now once someone tries to sell you something, they will be saying, okay, these are the features that have, these are the features and all these things have, these are the features when it comes to Wi-Fi, these are the features when it comes to the devices which are going to connect to this device and all that thing. So likewise, he'll be explaining about the product features. But where in the relationship marketing, now let's say about product features. So if someone explains like, okay, in a particular brand of phone, you have this much of pixels, this much of these things, that much of these things, then someone might ask, so what? I don't need that. I don't need that features. Whereas in relationship marketing, the marketing officer or the front office employee who's a marketing guy or the front office executive will focus on the product benefits. That means like how the customer is going to get benefit out of that. So when he is going to get a benefit only, he is going to buy that thing, right? So he'll be explaining in the relationship marketing, he'll be explaining about what? Explaining about the benefits of the product. Then the other thing is what? The short-term view. Transactional marketing is short-term view. So coming back to again that scenario of a direct marketing officer who's coming to your home and try to sell something. So it's about short-term view. He's trying to achieve his sales target. But in relationship marketing, it's long-term view. Now that's where in relationship marketing, this key account management comes in, that concepts. So long-term view will be there. So you'll be having long-term agreements with the customer and long-term relationships likewise. Then in transactional marketing, you have lacks customer service. That lacks customer service. Now how that lacks customer service? Because it is not personalized for him, so there can be many officers he has to go through in order to solve a particular issue with that product. So it lacks customer service. Then the other thing is what, that emphasize on customer service when it comes to, once it comes to what, relationship marketing, emphasize on customer service. But in transactional marketing, it's what, it's about lacks customer service. Then limited customer commitment in transactional marketing. In transactional marketing, you'll be having what, limited customer commitment. Then strong commitment to customers in where, in relationship marketing. Now strong customer commitment will be there in relationship marketing. Now again, can you remember the mission statement which I have discussed in lesson number 1? So it's about virgin trains we talked about. So customers as well as employees, they value. So refer to that again and check whether you understand that again. That shows strong commitment to customers. The other one is what, from the transactional marketing, moderate customer feedback. Moderate customer feedback, because we are not going to contact customer more oftenly. So in that case, moderate customer contact will be there. Then on the other hand, in relationship marketing, high levels of customer contact will be there, because since we know the customer's mobile, since we know the customer's home landline, since we know the customer's email address, we'll be in touch with the customer, as well as the customer knows their account manager, their officer's mobile number, email address, and their home numbers as well. So he'll be in touch with the customer, then the customer will be in touch with the company. So it's vice versa. It's two-way. Whereas transactional is about one way, where the relationship marketing is on two-way communication. Then the last one is what? It's about quality is the concern of production. So once it comes to transactional marketing, the quality is the concern of production only. Now it seems like in transactional marketing practice organization, they'll be saying, okay, quality is the concern of production, so that I can't take the responsibility for quality, so you need to look after that thing. But whereas in relationship marketing, quality is everyone's concern, so that for my customer, I can't give a low quality product. So in that case, quality is everyone's concern. Let's take it's about the finance division, let's take about the procurement division, marketing division, HR, production, manufacturing, research and development. So quality is everyone's concern. So once you have a quality product, your customer will be satisfied and you won't be having any problems and the issues will be minimized. So the relationship marketing will be there. Now I know it's about what. So do you want to practice transactional marketing in your organization now? Or do you want to practice relationship marketing in your organization right now? You want both? No, I will prefer to practice relationship marketing through this justification. So hope you all will be practicing relationship marketing as well. Right. Now, yes, we talked about something called customer loyalty. Now, in our channel, in ArcTube also, we are having our loyal subscribers. So we love our subscribers and they are loyal to us and they are always with us. So we treat them our subscribers and viewers, we treat them in a special way. So we treat them as loyal customers and they will be together with our ArcTube channel through the thick and thin. So because of them only, we are at this level right now. Now, what do you mean by customer loyalty? So it's about what? You need to have something with regard to customer loyalty. Some experts have identified some details when it comes to customer loyalty. Now it says like if it is a true loyalty, it says true loyalty results from understanding customer needs, respecting customers, offering products that are relevant and good customer experience that people enjoy and make them want to come back again. So this is according to Richard. So that's one of marketing experts that we have. Then one of the other marketing experts, they say like what? The future is all about personalization. The future is all about personalization. So building a relationship based on trust is increasingly important. If I don't trust an organization, I don't share my data, which means they cannot personalize. So although I think point-based loyalty programs have their place, what we need to consider is whether they are sufficiently personalized and relevant to the customer needs. So that's by, again, from another marketing expert. So we tend to get a lot of loyalty cards, loyalty points and all that thing. But what is the point of having loyalty points if it is not personalized or if it is not managed well? So in that case, you need to manage the customer loyalty data in a proper way. Now, that doesn't mean like once you are having a loyalty card or loyalty points for you, that doesn't mean like that's your loyal customer. So in order to be a loyal customer, you need to personalize data and personalize his services at a deeper level, not at the surface level. Now we see in some organizations, like it's about supermarket chains, it's about some hotels, they have just loyalty points and they do not personalize the service truly. For the sake of having the loyalty card, they are having that thing, but understanding customer loyalty and long-term relationship is very much important. Why these loyal customers or customer loyalty is very much important? The first point is what? That they are the most profitable segment to sell. Once you have a customer who's loyal to you, a good customer base who's loyal to you, they are the most profitable segment to sell, because they know your company, they know your organization, they know your brand, they know your products, they have been in the thick and thin of your company, in the hard times of the company, in the best times of the company, they have been with you. So that's the most profitable segment to sell. Then the other one is what? That they spread positive word of mouth. These loyal customers, they tend to spread positive word of mouth. Now what do you mean by positive word of mouth? What is the opposite side of that thing? Non-loyal customers will spread negative word of mouth. They will be talking on behalf, not on behalf of your company, but the negative side of your company, the non-loyal customer base. Whereas loyal customer base, customers, they will spread positive word of mouth. Then they'll be saying, okay, that's a good company, I can recommend you, the staff is very good, their products are durable, I know that company for years, no problem, go ahead with that. So they will be spreading positive word of mouth. Then they will be an opinion former for you. Now, what do you mean by an opinion former? So they will be forming an opinion like this is the best company for you. This is the best organization that provides best products and services. Likewise, they will be an opinion former. Now, opinion former and opinion leader. Do you know the difference of opinion former and opinion leader? No, I am not going to tell you right now, because in the lesson 3 and lesson 4, we'll be talking about these opinion formers and opinion leaders. Now, they will be an opinion farmer, these loyal customers. Then the other point is what? Acquiring new customers is 5 times more expensive than retaining an existing one. This is what I have referred to you in where? In the previous slides. I told you about what? It is 5 times. It is very expensive to get a new customer, but it is okay. It is okay for your organizations to have this retaining an existing ones. So that's again a benefit of customer loyalty. Then again what? Minimizing the risk of assured return on investment. Now let's say you are going to invest in some project or product or service. So in that case, that minimizes the risk. How it minimizes the risk? Now you know something called diffusion of innovation curve. We'll be talking about that thing later as well, not in this lesson. There's something called diffusion of innovation curve. You know about that thing. You can go to online sources where you can wait for us till we discuss that thing in the other lessons. Now once you are investing something in when developing a product or service, you will be investing your money in there, and there's a risk for that thing. But if you are having good loyal customer base, a big loyal customer base, your risk will be minimized, because of what? They will buy your product, they will try your product, they will recommend your product, and they will be acting as opinion formers, so that your revenue is going to come to your organization by selling that product. So in that product or service, so that they will minimize the risk of assured return on investment. So let's say if the product fails, they will back you up, right? So that's the beauty of loyal customers. And now we are moving into the value creation through relationship marketing. Now, how we are going to create value through relationship marketing? Now, we talked about relationship marketing. Okay, that's good and that's beautiful. I'm going to have relationship marketing, but how we are going to have that? So that's a problem, right? How are we going to have that in your organization? How are we going to practice that thing? Now, I'm going to tell you about that. That's not rocket science. Rocket science again. That's not rocket science again. So it's a simple scenario. Let's look at that right now. How we are going to create value through relationship marketing. Right. Now there's a story here. Now let's say someone comes to the bank and he's dealing with the bank and he's go to the ATM and there are transactional relationships. That means he's coming to the bank and he's interacting with the ATM machine and he goes in there and all that thing. And there are some value additions, value-added relationships. So once you go into the ATM of the machine, the security guard who's in there, he'll be saying, okay, hi sir, how are you? Good morning. I have seen you like you are coming every week to the bank. So we have something special for you. You can go inside and you can sit on the lobby and there will be our account manager who's treating our customers. Will talk to you and check how can we minimize your time which is coming to the bank so you can go ahead with digital banking and all that thing. So he'll be giving some value additions to this transaction. Now he's talking about a step ahead. Now customer is coming to the organization, but through digital marketing communication or digital marketing platforms or digital platforms, he'll be able to add value to that transaction. Then he's again adding value to that transaction towards what? He's saying, okay, there's a lobby like that and there's a key customer executive who will be looking after you and he'll be custom made some products and services for you. Since you are having this account more than 20 years in the bank right now, you will be eligible for these benefits and all that thing. There will be special interest rates for you and there will be special gifts for you because you have been dealing with the bank this much of time. So there will be continuous value additions. Now once you are having these continuous value additions, you will be going for these collaborative relationships. What do you mean by these collaborative relationships? So it's about what? For the mutual benefit. It's about a win-win situation. Now this person goes out of the town and he says, my God, I have gone to this the X bank and the X banks provide me with superb service. That key customer care executive is very much, he knows everything with regard to all product and product portfolios and he has chosen me the correct product, correct service which suits me and I'm very happy with that. I'm recommending you to go there and this is the best bank which I have gone in my life. So that's about what? Collaborative relationships. Now what is that arrow? It's about what? This from transactional relationships, then from value additions, then you are moving towards where? Collaborative relationships. By collaborative relationships, what you're going to have? A loyal customer. So in the coming slides or coming lessons, we'll be talking about ladder of loyalty as well. Right? Now you can see that green arrow moving from transactional relationships to collaborative relationships. That's about what? Increasing the strength and bond of the relationship. Right? Now what happens? I'm telling you a story. Now what happens? Now what happens is like, okay, let's say that key customer executive who has treated that person or the loyal customer has transferred to some other branch. What happens? The new customer care executive comes and he don't have that skills of networking. So in that case, what happens now? He goes there, whereas that Mr. X of this one, he has transferred, I'm the one who's looking after that one, and he'll be requesting a OD facility, overdraft facility. Here, my friend, I need my overdraft facility and all like that. Then this new person, he says what? No, you can't get this overdraft facility like that because I need to get the approval from the manager and I had to forward this to the head office. That will take about 1 to 2 weeks. I can't promise you, I can't promise you that I am going to guarantee you with the overdraft facility. Now what happens? That red arrow comes. Collaborative relationships is going toward transactional relationships. The customer is not satisfied right now. So in that case, that increases the chance of what? Replacing the relationship. So the comparison is very high. There's a key customer. He comes there and say, sir, what happened? Is there any problem? So I can help you out. No problem. Let's go to that bank. So that increases the chance for what? Replacing the relationship. So as marketers today, or as organizations, as business owners, we need to focus on increasing the strength and the bond of the relationship, right? If you don't increase the strength and the bond of the relationship, so you'll be not having collaborative relationships. Then you'll be going towards transactional relationships that increases loss of customers. So once you're losing customers, what happens? It's very hard for you, right? Without customers. Can you remember again Virgin Trains? I'm coming back to Virgin Trains. I really don't know why is that. Virgin Trains, they say, without you customers, there's no railway, like that. So you need to understand that you are in there because of customers, right? And customer is the king never bargains. That's also there, right? So you need to think about that thing as well. Right. Now we are going into, well, it's about customer satisfaction. Now, once you talk about customer satisfaction, what comes to your mind? Now, we talk about some, let's say you are going to somewhere like, let's say you are going to somewhere in a restaurant or something like that. So once you have the food you want, so you will be very satisfied. Now, let's say you are going to a hotel. So once you are going to a hotel, if the hotel staff is very much treating you very much in a good, loyal customer way, so what will be there? So you'll be very much satisfied. Now it says like what customer satisfaction is the extent to which the perceived performance of the product that meets customers' expectations. I'm repeating again, customer satisfaction is the extent to which the perceived performance of a product or service meets customers' expectations. Right? There's strong correlation between customer satisfaction and customer loyalty. And customer who experience a problem and it is dealt with well reports and high customer satisfaction. Now, if it is dealt with high customer satisfaction, that will provide you with customer loyalty and the customer will spread positive word of mouth. So in that case, customer satisfaction is very much important for you. Now, you will be having some mechanisms of measuring customer satisfaction. That is what you mean by customer satisfaction index. So in organizations, in reputed organizations or small organizations also, they have something called these customer satisfactions. Now I'm really sure that you have come across some digital interfaces which shows like emojis like smiling face, neutral face and a sad face to rate customer service which they have experienced inside the store or outside the store, right? So it is just a matter of a finger tap. So in that case, you will be having customer satisfaction and customer loyalty. There's high correlation between those elements. Now, once we talk about customer satisfaction, according to PRC 2000, there are categories of customers that falls into 4 groups, because every customer is not a loyal customer. So that in that case you need to segment or categorize these customers. That is where this customer loyalty and satisfaction PRC 2000 has developed this framework to identify the customers, right? Now, types of customers. Now there are types of customers whom are satisfied stayers. Now you can see in these axes you have customer loyalty in one axis, customer satisfaction in one axis, right? So you will be having, once the customer satisfaction is high and the customer loyalty is high, so you will be having satisfied stayers. So these people will be where they will be with you with the company because they love the company. They love very much the company. Because of that, they are with you. And the other one is whom? It's about happy wanderers. Who are these happy wanderers? What are their characteristics? Who are their happy wanderers? Happy wanderers, who are they? Their customer loyalty is low, but the customer satisfaction is high. Now it's what? Now let's say, for an example, now let's say someone is satisfied with, let's say now we are giving a free issue for the customers. So let's say after giving the free issue for that customer in a promotion, he's happy with that thing. But once we are asking from him, he'll be saying, okay, your product is fine and it's dealing fine with that thing, no problem. So in that case, it's really fine. But sir, will you buy that thing? No, I don't have money, so I have the other supplier who supplies me this product. So I'll go ahead with them, though I have the superior product here. The price is very less there, so I'm going there. So it's about what? They are satisfied but fickle. They're satisfied but fickle. Whereas the satisfied stayers, they will stay with the company through the thick and thin, even when logic dictates otherwise, right? So they will be there through the company in the thick and thin when it comes to satisfied stayers. And there's something called hostages. Who are these hostages? It's about what? Customer satisfaction is low and the customer loyalty is high. Because of the loyalty, you can't go to another customer, right? So those are the hostages. So it's about what? Stay despite being dissatisfied, and it's a terror habit and inertia and supply monopoly. So this can originate because of the supply monopoly as well. Because let's say for an example, in some country, let's say you have one electricity supplier. So in that case, you don't have any options. Like it or not, you have to be there. So you are a hostage there. So in that case, the hostages stay despite being dissatisfied. So the customer loyalty satisfaction is low, loyalty is high. Now let's say, coming back to the previous story of that bank and the gentleman. Let's say now the gentleman is having a big bond with the bank. Despite he's been ill-treated by the newcomer, he'll be going to the bank because of the bond. So despite being dissatisfied, he needs to be the bank because he's bonding to the bank. Then lastly, we'll be having whom? The customer loyalty is low, customer satisfaction is low. These are dealers. So they will be always focusing on the commission and they will be hopping, right? So it's about what? Are unhappy generally, shop around and may or may not return. So these dealers. So be careful about these dealers, and you can always practice relationship marketing, and you can convert these happy wanderers to satisfied stayers, whereas you can convert these hostages to satisfied stayers and all that thing. But it's very important that you need to understand the difference between these happy wanderers, hostages, satisfied stayers and dealers. So it's basically towards two axes, two elements, variables, because it's about customer loyalty as well as customer satisfaction. So that's about customer loyalty and satisfaction. Now we are moving again with the customer satisfaction. Now if you want to have a good understanding of that thing, so I have said who are satisfied stayers, that they will stay with the company through thick and thin, and who are wanderers are satisfied but fickle. We talked about that thing as well. Then there's something called hostages. So they stay despite being dissatisfied, right? The hostages. Then other one is what? Dealers are unhappy generally and shop around, may or may not return. So you need to have a good understanding of these things in order to monitor your customer satisfaction. Now you have to deal with dealers, you have to deal with hostages, wanderers and satisfied stayers, and you need to understand who are your loyal customer base, because of what? They are the most profitable to sell, and they will be helping your company, and there will be win-win situations, and there will be collaborative relationships. right? So that's about customer satisfaction. Now it's about what? How to have this customer care program, or what are the steps of establishing a customer care program. Now let's talk about that. Altogether it comes like this. So though it has this much of stages, it is not that hard, but it's hard. It is a journey again. Now you can't say customer care program, you can't set a customer care program overnight. You have to develop this customer care program over a time of period. Otherwise it will be very hard, like you will be not knowing where you stand right now. Because of that, you will be finding it very hard when developing a customer care program. So these are the steps of establishing a customer care program. So the first one is what? Identify customer needs and perceptions. Now you need to identify customer needs and perception. What my customer needs and what they think of my brand, what they think of my product. So likewise, you need to understand those things firstly. Then you need to establish a mission for the customer care programs. By having the customer in the center of your organization, you need to establish a mission, how to achieve this customer loyalty, how to achieve this percentage increase of customer satisfaction. And you can set service level standards. So what are the service level standards then? Now you can standardize the service levels. Now let's say there's a loyal customer who's going to be in there. So for the loyal customers, the queue waiting time will be very much lower. So if they are in the call center for a call queuing, so they will be getting the priority, and they will be treated in a different counter when it comes to the store. Likewise, you can set service levels. Then let's say now for service provisioning, so you will be taking about very less days than a standard customer for the loyal customers. Likewise, and establish a management process. No matter what, now you may be setting service level standards, but you need to establish a management process inside your organization to what? Cater these service level standards. If you have not prepared your internal aspects to deliver this service level standard, it will be very hard for you, because you can't meet the customer expectation which you have promised outside the market from external communication activities. So you need to be careful before communicating, or before setting the service level standards. You need to analyze your internal communication process and systems that they can accommodate that service level standard. So it has to be a vice versa, and you need to analyze these things. Then the other one is what? After establishing management process, you need to communicate the process. We talked about internal communication tools when it comes to lesson number 1. So you need to communicate these service level standards to the whole staff, for the finance department, for the procurement, for the research and development department, or for any department in the organization. You need to communicate these are the service level standards for your organization. Once the customer comes, you need to act like that. These are the time frames, and these are the processes and procedures. You need to communicate that thing. So that will be then transparent for any level of employees. So it can be the strategic level employee, it can be the operational level employee, it can be the tactical level employee. All level employees will be aware of what their duties and responsibilities in delivering this set level standards. Then the other one is what? Establish a feedback system. So it's about having two-way communication. You will be having internal feedback systems as well as external feedback system. That is the proposed customer care program is good or bad. So you will be getting negative feedback, constructive criticisms, then you will be getting positive feedbacks, then there will be lessons learned and best practices, and you can practice the learning curve inside your organization. Then what is in there? Then again, get management buy-ins. So that means what? So okay, get management buy-in, make people involved and get their ideas. Always make it a point. Management buy-ins also has to be there, but value the tactical employees' ideas as well. Give them a fair hearing for that idea as well. So likewise, you need to get management buy-ins when you are preparing and fine-tuning your customer care program. Then lastly, it's about what? Monitoring and controlling systems. Monitoring and controlling systems. You need to monitor your plan. You need to control your customer care program. If you can't control or monitor your customer care program, what is there? So it is about what? The plan will be going somewhere else. The organization will be going somewhere else if you don't monitor. So it is a must that you have to have a monitoring and controlling mechanisms in your customer care program as well. So that is basically the steps of establishing customer care program. And you can reach us via our all digital platforms. You can reach us and ask us how to set this customer care program to your organization. So we can consult you, and we can give you the consultancy in developing these customer care programs when it comes to organization wise and industry wise. So this is general guideline for you. And the other one is what? It's about customer relationship management. Now, what do you mean by customer relationship management? Now, once it comes to CRM, that underpins customer satisfaction as done correctly. It should ensure that each customer receives right message through right channel at the right time. Make it a point to remember, each customer receives right message through the right channel at the right time. So you need to ensure that your customer service is personalized through CRM. According to Phil 2013, CRM incorporates technologies and systems that enable all employees who have interface with the customers to have real-time up-to-date information in order to deliver high levels of customer service. So that's according to Phil. Then, as Phil suggests, CRM is an integrated system enabled by information technology systems and methodologies, and it covers the entire business process of marketing and sales. It brings together a number of marketing and customer facing systems within one application and allows marketers to manage customer information and customer relationships in an organized and profitable way. So that's the beauty and that's the power of what? The customer relationship management system. In your organization also, you will be having customer relationship management. What we all are experiencing is our customer relationship management is not that friendly and not that user friendly and not that simple, because it's complex. So you need to have a dashboard, a simple dashboard which shows the customer behaviors, which shows you the churn rate, which shows you the loyal customer behaviors, then which shows you the buying pattern of the customers. Likewise, that will encourage you to forecast something. Does the customer relationship management provides you with trend forecasting? Likewise, you can ask questions to analyze your existing customer relationship management system. Now, once we talk about customer relationship management system, there will be some aspects. These are not only there, that is not limited only to these aspects. Now we talk about data warehouses. Data warehouses can be there for customer relationship management systems. Data warehouses, right? Now, once we talk about data warehouses, what comes to your mind? In today's world, what comes to your mind? Think of something. What comes to your mind? It's about the big data. It's about the IoT. It's about massive machine type learning, ultra low level latency. We talk about those things. That's about warehousing and big data. So we'll be analyzing data mining and digging and everything will be there. So in that case, these data warehouses is a part of what? A heart of the customer relationship management system. If you don't have your data correctly, that means what? Your dashboard will pop up you with wrong information and you will be guided wrong. So in that case, you need to be very careful with the data warehouses, and there will be having customer service systems as a part of what customer relationship management, and you will be having call centers. You know about that. So once you talk to some fast food outlet store, hey Chamara, I know that you are calling, how's the day today, what do you want to order and all that, then they will be saying, okay, you are eligible for this free discount, will you be getting there and all that thing. So that happens through customer relationship management systems. Then there will be e-commerce, right? Now I'm going to talk to you about the bitcoins and all that thing. The cryptocurrencies will be there, the e-commerce. Now there's a separate set of videos when it comes to e-commerce in our Active, which is referred to as KnowledgeBox. There's some video on the KnowledgeBox which is called as digital economy. So if you can refer to that video, it's about digital economy, you can get a good idea about e-commerce, right? So make it a point to with that video as well. And the other one is what? Web marketing. Now we know about these things. This is general term, web marketing. So we'll be knowing what customers, what pages, what segments we need to tackle with our promotional messages. That's about web marketing. Web marketing will be very easy with the customer relationship management system. And digital transformation, we talk about digital transformation, so that will also a part of customer relationship management system as well. Now once we talk about digital transformation, it's about what? It's about digitization, digitalization and digital transformation. Now there's a video again in our ArcTube KnowledgeBox. There's something called understand digital correctly. So that's there. Now everyone says it's about digital and everything, but no one knows what digital is correctly. So you can go back to those videos in KnowledgeBox and you can watch those videos as well. So that's about customer relationship management. So according to Phil, we knew that you need to manage your customers in a personalized way. So we talked about amply about customer relationship management systems right now. Now we are going, as promised, now we are going into the budgeting part, the financial resources, right? So financial resources, we are coming in there. Why budgeting is important? What is the reason why the budgeting is important? Why we think the budgeting is important? Is budgeting important? Do we need to do budgeting? Yes, we need to do budgeting, guys. Otherwise it will be very hard, right? Guys and girls, right? Guys and girls, everyone who's viewing our channel, who's knowledge seekers. Why budgeting is important? Now you can see on the slide. So it will help for you to what? Planning for the future helps scenarios and contingency plans. So planning and budgeting will help you to work out for scenarios and contingency plans as well. Now you know about scenarios, so we talk, I mean, in a next lesson, not under basics of marketing communication, but let's say in a strategic marketing or maybe innovation marketing, maybe some other marketing model will be talking about this scenario planning. But this is not the this is not the lesson to talk about scenario planning, but always you can go to online sources and find out what do you mean by scenario planning. And you'll be having contingency plan. That means like if your plan fails, you can go for other plans as well. Likewise, then second point is what? Why it is important? Planning makes for improved communication throughout the organization because plans are circulated in timely fashion. So it's again improves the communication throughout the organization. The other one is what? It's about quantifying tasks and objectives in financial forms, helps to clarify staff what's expected from them and motives of them to achieve results. So it is a matter that you need to quantify the terms. Like now we are talking about qualitative facts like the brand awareness, brand reputation, all that thing, but you need to quantify that through brand value. So in that case, the budgeting is very important for you. The other one is what? The planning allows the activities of different departments to what? To be coordinated, ensuring that everyone pulls together towards common goal. So that means like everyone needs to pull together towards common goal means what? What is the common goal? That is the corporate goal of the organization. Now corporate goal of the organization, everyone should work towards that. Now other one is what? You need to compare the actual results against the plan. You need to compare the actual results. You need to benchmark yourself sometimes. You need to have milestones. So quarter-wise profits, quarter-wise revenue, quarter-wise annual, quarter-wise the operating profits. Likewise, then maybe you will be talking about annual profits as well, annual revenue and all that thing. So you can compare actual results against the plan, allowing them to make the adjustments where required. So that's why the budgeting is very much important. Right. Now let's talk about budgeting methods. So there are broad budgeting methods we are going to talk about here. There are two broad types. That's about top-down budgets and the bottom-up budgets. Now once you talk about the top-down budgets, that basically set by the senior management. That's set by the senior management with some inputs from the different departments. Now everyone knows, in that case, everyone knows how much resource is available for each task. Now that is set by the senior management, maybe in the strategic level and the operation level. Sometimes they will be getting some ideas from the operation level, but not the tactical level. So likewise, that will be set by the senior management with some input from the different departments. Then what will happen? Now everyone knows, because of that budget setting, everyone knows what is my budget allocation for this activity. So in that case, they will be tightening their the belts and all that thing. Okay, this is the budget what we have for this year. So you need to plan your resources and everything, activities according to this budget. There's no additional budget will be provided for you. So top-down budget is somewhat easy for you to set. Whereas when it comes to bottom-up budgets, it will be somewhat hard for you because of what? Set further down the hierarchy. Now it's coming down to the tactical level, right? Then there will be the involvement. Now it will be very time consuming. Why it is very time consuming, and it can be inaccurate as well. Now everyone is going to get a hearing, okay, going to get a time to provide his idea on what budget is. Now everyone is going to defend himself and get something more for his department. So in that case, everyone will come with the what? Some bolstering will be there. They will be coming up with their own stories and will be saying, okay, I need much money, I need this thing, I need that thing and all that thing. So you can't accommodate everything. So it is very time consuming and it can be what? Inaccurate as well. Lastly, it's about what? Tend to inflate and time needed to complete the project. Tend to inflate the time needed to complete the projects. So that because of you're going down extensively, it will be very hard for you to manage your projects as well. The project will be delayed. So you will be demanding and they will be demanding for more resources and all that thing. So it will be very hard for you with the bottom up budgets. So there will be two parts. That's about what? Top down budgets as well as bottom up budget. So what will be going for as a senior manager, what you will be going for? It's about top down budgets, right? Okay, now we are talking about the communication budgeting methods. You will be having these the popular methods that you will be using. Percentage of sales method will be there, traditional spend, competitor parity approach, all you can afford, the objective and task approach will be there, share of market and share of voice will be there. So these are the communication budgeting methods that we will be using. Now let's say it's about the percentage of sales method. So what do you mean by this one? So that is about what? The budget is allocated to the communication activities is usually a percentage of planned sales revenue. The percentage allocated will be depend on the marketing objectives and the level of consumption in the market and the potential markets. The communication budgets are typically between 1% to 5% of the expected sales. So that's with regard to the percentage of sales method. Now once it comes to traditional spend method, what is there? The budget is round about what we always spend. So it's about what? Okay, in the last year we have spent like that. So year on year we have about 5% increase for the budget. So for this year also we'll have like that. So that's about the traditional approach. Now there's something called competitor parity. What do you mean by that? So let's say in the banking industry you have XYZ bank and you are the X bank. So you as the X bank you will be saying, okay, the Z bank has allocated this much of budget for communication activities, so that I am going to allocate the same type of budget for my company as well. So that's about the competitor parity in a nutshell, in a summary. Then all you can afford will be there. So what do you mean by all you can afford? So the projected bottom line determines everything. That means everything will be the maximum amount will be allocated for the communication activities. So it's in another way, it's about what? A projected bottom line determines everything. Then there's something called objective and task approach. That means what? You can calculate how much money you will be needing to achieve your marketing objective and what are the tasks related to achieve that objective. So you can allocate budgets depending on those tasks and objectives. So in order to achieve their objectives, you need to carry out this task and the task will be allocated with this budgeting amounts. So financial amounts. So that will be easy for you to justify because you need to achieve this objective, you need to carry out this task. So in that case, that will be easy for you to justify the methods of objective and task method. Then there's something called share of market and share of voice method. What do you mean by this? So share of market, that's straightforward because you know about your share of market. So it can be 1%, it can be 10%, it can be 50% when you're coming to marketplace. What do you mean by share of voice then? Any idea of what do you mean by share of voice? Share of voice means, like, let's say for example, in let's say hotel industry, let's say you have ABC hotels, only 3 hotels you are having in your country. So in that case, let's say A spends about $50 million for their communication activities, whereas B spends about $30 million for their communication activity, whereas C spends about $20 million US dollars for their communication activity. Now the share of voice of A, it's about 50%, and share of voice of C, it's about 20%. So that means compared to the total investment in the industry, what is your percentage investment in marketing communications? That is your share of voice. So it is clear your share of market is there and your share of voice is there. Now what is in there when it comes to share of market and share of voice method? So on one axis you will be having your share of market, and the other axis you will be having computer share of voice. Computer share of voice. Now let's look at these four quadrants. Now let's say your computer share of voice is high and your share of market is high. So in that case, what you should do, your share of market is high and your computer share of voice is high. So in that case, you need to increase your spending on marketing communication activity to defend your brand. So unless if you defend your brand, the computer will be highlighted. So you need to increase your spending to defend the brand. Then let's say the other end, it's about what? Low and low. It's about what? Computer share of voice is low and your market share is also low. What is that? You need to attack. You need to attack. That's what? Spend more so that your share of voice is greater than your share of market. So spend more so that your share of voice is greater than your share of market. So everyone is having low things, so you are going to outbeat the competition through that thing. But you need to have some good money in there in order to go there. But good money in the case, like, you will be finding it hard because your share of market is low and your computer share of voice is also low, so they are not spending much and you're also not spending much, but you need to spend somewhat more than the computer to gain that thing to attack. Then other one is what? It's about computer share of voice is high and your share of market is low. So in that case, what do you have to do now? So computer share of voice is very high and your market share is low, but you have the competition, but it's very hard for you to survive. So what you have to do, decrease the spending to the amount needed, to defend your niche. So you have to segment your market and focus on the niche. To protect that niche, you have to spend on the niche as well. So you can decrease the spending on other elements or other product and service portfolios. Then the last quadrant is what? It's about computer share of voice is low, your share of market is high, so maintaining spending slightly above the equilibrium level. So you are not going to outbeat the competition because the computer share of voice is anyway low. So you are going to just share your spending just above the equilibrium level. That's it. So these are the four quadrants that will be used in where? In setting up budgets when it comes to share of market and share of voice methods. Now we are going to talk about now change. Now why we should change? Now it has said, like, once we talk about change, they have said, like, okay, if you want to change, now there was a boardroom question like this. Now everyone has like answered that. The CEO asked, how many of you like change? Everyone said, okay, organized change, I like it. How many of you like to change? Then everyone says, I don't like to change. So it's very hard for someone to change because it's in par with their attitudes, norms, beliefs and culture. So we need to manage manage organization change, but before that we need to know the change types as well, because we are managing resources and people here. Now there will be scopes and timing for this organizational change. The scope will be incremental, strategic, as well as the timing will be reactive and anticipatory. Now let's say, for an example, the first quadrant, that's about incremental and reactive change. How we are going to do that? Incremental and reactive. So there will be gradual changes in the organization, often to response in change in the micro environment. Now this reactive and incremental changes often happen in the micro environment. We talk about micro environment, it's about inside the company. So in that micro environment, so we'll be using about portals, we'll be using a sawtooth analysis, and we'll be using about the value chain analysis to do those things as well. Likewise, so these will be gradual changes, and that will happen because of the internal factors of the company. Then the other one is what? The strategic reactive one. Strategic reactive, it's about what? Renovation of that thing. It's about what then? Completely rethink of the strategy occurs as a result of changes in the external environment and the internal environment. So you need to renovate and completely think the strategic thing. Now let's say for example, now with the COVID pandemic, this happens, like the strategic change is needed but reactive, because we never thought that COVID pandemic will be react like that. So the organizations were not focusing on that thing. They were thinking like it's something like Ebola, no problem, my country is safe from there, my organization is safe from that, I'm not going to have a direct impact from there. But it was the other way around. Then they want to, work from home activities has to be deployed, then the learn from home activities will be deployed, and everything has to be changed. Then we talk about timing. It's about anticipatory and incremental change. Now it's about what? Fine tuning, incremental anticipate. We have anticipated that the change is going to come. So we will be fine tuning our systems and capabilities. It's about what? Incremental changes, often at the level of operation levels, in anticipation of future needs and changes in the environment. So this is okay. This is an ongoing process in the organization that they are anticipating that these changes are going to come. Now, for an example, you can get like the electrical car manufacturing, and the world's move towards solar energy. So they will be going for this renewable energy types as well. So this is about fine tuning. How we are going to fine tune your production line, how we are going to fine tune your manufacturing line, likewise. Then there's something called anticipatory and strategic. So we are anticipating that thing, but it is at the strategic level, not at the operational level. So it's about reorientation. It's about the transformational change, in the drastic change in the direction made in the anticipation in other significant changes. Now for an example, let's say a digital transformation inside your organization. So in that case, you need to transfer all these bookkeeping and everything for digital transformation. So end-to-end digital. So I can remember it's about 5 years back, the Burberry CEO was saying, like, if you're not transform your activities from end-to-end digital, I really don't know what your business model is going to be in another 5 to 10 years. So you need to transform digitally as well. So that will fall into strategic and anticipatory change. Now, what are these change types you have? What are the change types you have? That's about internal change, external change, content change, as well as context change. So what do you mean by internal change? That's about micro factors you will be having. So what are the changes that you are going to get inside the organization? What are the system changes that's going to happen? What are the management changes that's going to happen in the strategic level, operational level, as well as tactical level? So change is inevitable. So you need to categorize the changes, internal and external. External changes are what? Which is happening in the macro environment. So we talk about political changes, we talk about economical changes, technological changes, we talk about socio-cultural changes, and always then we talk about ecological changes. So that will be fall into external changes. And content changes. So the content will be a change thing as well. Now let's say for an example, the content of maybe our YouTube channel. So the content types also has to be changed. The other one is what? The context change. Now how many contexts you will be having? The business context will be there, the industry context will be there, political context will be there, manufacturing context will be there. According to that, how we are going to allocate your, or how we are going to manage your change types. So industry wide that will be different, the product wise that will be different, business entity wise that will be different. So you need to manage these change types as well. Now how we are going to manage these change types? So that's where this Kotler's n-step model 1996 that comes in handy. This Kotler's n-step model. Why this comes? To manage change. How we're going to manage change like that. But there are other models as well, because this is a suitable model. I thought of discussing this thing. Now, as per Kotler's n-step model, the first one is establish a sense of urgency. Now, as a team, once you're driving the change inside the organization, you need to establish a sense of urgency. Now we need to create that urgency inside the organization. If you do not create that urgency in the organization, no one will follow the change. Then they will be saying, okay, we can do it later. Then form a guiding coalition. So what do you mean by that? So you need to set standards that you need to do like this. These employees has to do like that. That employees has to do like that in order to drive the change. This is the guiding coalition for you. You need to do the change like this. The other one is what, depending on the guiding coalition, you can create a vision towards the change, how we are going to change, the vision towards the change. Other one is what, the communicate the vision. Then you will be setting up a vision for that thing, then you will be communicating the vision throughout the organization as well as maybe the outside the organization, so that the people outside the organization like customers, suppliers, shareholders, suppliers, distributors and everyone will be getting to know what is happening inside the organization. Then empower people to act upon the vision. Now empower people to act upon the vision, that means like there's a set vision is there, but according to that empower people. Now allow them to act upon the change, encourage them to act upon the change. Likewise, you need to monitor them as well. Then create short-term wins. What do you mean by this short-term wins? Let's say now the change is planned for 5 years. So in that case, you can celebrate your short-term wins like let's say quarter wise, like every 3 months you can have a progress meeting and you can always talk about what are the short-term wins you have got. Now ultimate objective is going to go ahead with 5 years, but you are going to celebrate in 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So that will keep the momentum of the organization, and that will encourage and motivate staff to be in the same pace of the change. Otherwise the pace of the change will be very much lower. Then the other one is what, consolidate improvements to produce future changes. So that means what, lessons learned and best practices. So you will be having like some minor adjustment for the change, and if the adjustment is working fine, you can deploy that thing in the future activities. If it is not working, okay, you can avoid that thing and be careful when you're going to do that thing again. Then other one is what, institutionalize the new approaches. So the same thing, you can document that thing and you can standardize the new approaches, and you can institutionalize that new approaches as well. So that's in a nutshell what do you mean by Kotler's n-step model. But why you're using Kotler's n-step model? What is the reason you are using Kotler's n-step model? To manage change, nothing else, to manage change. Okay, now we are going to talk about the capabilities of effective marketing solutions. Capabilities for effective marketing solutions. How are we going to do that? Capabilities for effective marketing solutions. It says the practical and personal skills of communication manager will have a major impact on delivering what? The effective marketing solutions. Now, what do you mean by the practical communications? Practical skills, right? Now, it says like the research by the recruitment firm Hayes at the end of 2016 found companies are emphasizing specific technical skills, especially digital ones, when they are recruiting marketers at the cost of core skills such as budget management and strategic thinking, which are in the short supply among new recruits. The most in demand skills were analytical ability, followed by copywriting, creativity, and customer-centric thinking. So that's about the research, according to the research done by Hayes. So now let's look at what are the practical and personal skills which is required by a communications manager to deliver effective marketing solutions. So you need to have networking skills as one personal skills when it comes to a communication manager. What do you mean by networking skills? It's about what? A key skill, not necessarily a social networking, but old-fashioned flesh pressing. There's no substitute for meeting people face to face if you want to forge a relationship, alliance, collaboration, both inside out the organization, that are essential for delivering integrated marketing solutions. Marketing is about people, and it's about digital era that has often been forgotten. Indeed, the digital era makes persuading, motivating, and influencing skills even more important, because you can't just push products or services on consumers. That's it, right? So that means you need to have the networking skills, that it is not the old-fashioned one, but you need to deliver integrated networking skills by using the digital platforms as well. The other one is what? The coaching thing. How we are going to coach that? The coaching skills also falling into what? The personal skills, right? The coaching skills also falling into personal skills. How are you going to coach them? So you can say like it's about it is easy to build the coaching competence for you. So how are you going to coach them? Before coaching, you need to build that coaching competence in you. So listen to yourself. Your language is the key to understand the current style. And the other one is what? Know your triggers. Some situations will tip you instinctively to the judging mode, which is a analysis for coaching. So know your triggers. The other one is what? Trust people to succeed and to fail. This empowering them. Now you have to trust people and empower them. You need to coach. Then other one is what? Get feedback. Get feedback. What do you mean by that? What do your team think of your style? Get feedback from them. Do I need to improve? So what I should change for my team? Likewise. Then we'll be talking about the practical capabilities of the communication manager. Now what do you mean by the practical capability? So the communication manager should have good research skills. Now communication manager should have good research skills, and now he will be able to get some information from the marketing intelligence with regard to some competitors. There can be information, so he'll be able to get that. What are they doing in B2B markets and B2C markets? What are their new product portfolios? What they are doing in the market? Likewise, you need to do that thing as well. So as a communication manager, you need to have good researching skills, as well as you need to have good intelligence system to get information. Other one is what? You need to have good writing skills. Now once you are going to have good writing skills, it is very important to note, it's about you have to know your audience. Then other one is what? You need to cut the crap and get the line out. So that's about what? Cut to chase. It's about don't bury the message and keep it simple. Less is more. It's about less is more. The other one is what? Avoid the technical jargon. Use plain English like me. Then the other one is what? Avoid exclamation marks. You don't have these exclamation marks in your communication when writing, and get active. So always make it a point to have two-way communication in writing as well. So that's it with regard to what? The writing skills of the communication manager, which falls into the practical skills of the communication manager. Other one is what? You need to have the planning skills. You need to have proper planning skills as a communication manager. What to do at what time, what is the correct time, and how to do that thing, how to monitor and control, and what are the stages of planning, and what are the key performance indicators and critical success factors. So in that case, planning skills is a must. So we now know about the practical and the personal skills, which is required by whom? A communications manager, internal communications manager inside your organization. So now we have discussed about many things with regard to the resource management, budgeting, then external communication, then internal communication managers roles and everything we talked about. Then we talked about change. So now it is time for sum up questions. So every lesson we are going to have sum up questions for you. So if you can answer this question, you are going to get the summary of the lesson today, the lesson number 2. So the first sum up question is what? Describe the difference between transactional and relationship marketing. Describe the difference between transactional and relationship marketing. That is the first question for you. Then define customer loyalty. We talked about customer loyalty amply today. Define customer loyalty. And the third question is what? Elaborate customer relationship management. What do you mean by customer relationship management? CRM, we talked about that thing. Then how to use share of market and share of voice method when setting up a communication budget. That's also straightforward, but with examples I need that. Other one is what is meant by change management. So we talked about change, incremental change, we talked about strategic change, we talked about what do you mean by change management. So these are the sum up questions for you. Make sure that you answer these questions. And now it is the time for the hurdle question. Again, I am telling you, in order to get through this lesson, you need to get through the hurdle question. Now I am happy that some of you have sent us answers, and we have marked that questions, and we have sent the answers out, and we have sent them the marks. And it is a fact that I am happy to announce, there are about 20 to 25 people whom have sent us this message or the answers, and the pass rate is around 70%. I am happy with that thing. So they have passed the hurdle and they are qualifying for the lesson number 2. So now this is the hurdle question for you from lesson 2. Describe 3 skills required by an internal communications manager working as a part of a team within the organization. Describe 3 skills required by an internal communications manager working as a part of a team within the organization. Again, break into parts. I'll just tell you the structure of this structure of the question. So how to structure? Now you need to work out what is the role of internal communications manager inside the organization. Without knowing the role, it is very hard for you to write because you need to be in a scenario, right? The other one is what? Identify the most suitable skills from personal and practical. Now every skill is not going to be useful in your organization. For some organization there will be some specific skills. For other organizations there will be some specific skills. Likewise, there will be more suitable things for your organization, but you need to justify that thing. Then how he could work as a part of a team and win hearts and minds of all across all departments. So you need to elaborate that thing as well, how he could work as a part of a team and to win hearts and mind. Then the other one is lastly the impact on the organization, impact the organization will have through a good communication manager. Is it negative impact or positive impact? If it is positive impact, you need to find justify that thing, and you need to say like these are the positive impacts that we are going to have, right? So that is how you are going to structure the question, and we are coming to the end of internal marketing lesson number 2. So make it a point to answer the question and send us the answers. We'll mark it for you and we'll send you the marks as well. So it was a good lesson for me because we were encouraged by your comments which you have sent to us with regard to lesson number 1. So we had good comments from there, and it shows us that you are very interested in this lesson. So we are motivated to do that thing. So we'll be continuing with, there are 6 number of lessons for you, and we'll be continuing with that thing as well. So this is the end of lesson number 2. Now I'm really happy that we talked about many things with regard to internal marketing. Now we talked about internal communications, then we talk about the internal resource management, when we talk about how we are going to manage your skills and capabilities. So I'm sure that you will be using this practical knowledge in your organizations and in your day-to-day activities. So we are sharing knowledge to be applied for the betterment of the organization and the world. So that is the ArcTube's main motive. So it's about what? Knowledge sparks. So we prepare knowledge sparks not to fire anyone out, but to share knowledge and to inspire you. So the most important factor is what? We share knowledge which is to be applied and proved. So that's it. Our knowledge is proven. So assuring you a better knowledge in lesson number 3 to be used and applied in your organization. Till we meet again in lesson number 3. Bye for now. Let's meet again in the other weeks in the same classroom. Till that, bye for now.